Last year, I'm selling bottles of water for $1 a piece. Now I'm making 80 grand a year. I got the girl, I got the job. I'm trying to win out a license, but never fix a spiritual void with a physical thing. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I was trying to fill a spiritual void with a physical thing.
Today we're joined by Westley Morris, speaker, coach, entrepreneur, and founder of WAM Inspires.
Wes is one of the most powerful comeback stories we've heard on the show. Homelessness, trauma, addiction exposure, and rebuilding his entire life from the ground up.
Now he travels the country helping people break through limiting beliefs and develop high performance in their mindset.
His message is simple. Keep pedaling, no matter what life throws at you.
Today we're diving into resilience, discipline, mindset, and turning pain into purpose.
Wes, welcome to Intrepidus. Yeah.
So let's talk about you.
Yeah.
Why are you here?
I am here because I've been watching your content. I like what you're doing. I love Bedros. I love that that's your mentor. You know, you guys have created something really, really cool. It's a huge platform, and you're getting the reach, and you're doing the work, and I want to be a part of that.
Awesome. So let's take us back because obviously, you know, we'll get into what you're doing right now, but what you're doing right now is not what you've always done.
For sure.
So let's take us back to, I guess, early on in life, who you were to now who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was supposed to be a farm boy. My family still owns a 500-acre.
Sound like Jim Rohn, farm boy in Idaho.
Family still owns a 500-acre working farm in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. I was literally just on a phone call with my cousin. We were selling a beef, and yeah. So I come from a place where hard work, honesty, and integrity are at the forefront of values. In Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, in the hills of Pennsylvania, and that's where I come from. And I learned a lot of principles from that lifestyle that I still carry on into leadership today. One of which is my grandfather was one of the greatest horse trainers that I've ever met, right? And at 6 years old, he takes me out to the barn and he says, "Hey, Wessie, come watch this." There's a young horse running around the corral and he's all crazy and he's right? And my grandfather takes out a handful of corn and he goes, and he gets that horse to come eat right out of his hand, right? And at 6 years old, he looks down at me and he says, "Wessie, all relationships move at the speed of trust. All relationships move at the speed of trust. Not necessarily the trust between two people, but can you trust yourself to do what you said you were going to do?" So that's the type of, you know, encouragement and principles. Everything was real simple that I learned on the farm.
So why aren't you still on the farm? Where'd life take you?
Yeah. Mom and dad met, had my sister, then had me. October 30th, 1984. We lived in a one-room cabin. They shot deer to survive. They were really poor. And at 9 months old, my mom left my dad, and she took me and my sister and put us in a 3/4-ton dump truck and brought us to the Lehigh Valley. So a little farm girl, scared, confused, you know, with two little kids, just divorced her husband. And the reason why I say that we were poor is because the vibrational frequency that you're exposed to between 0 and 7 years old dictate who you become later on in life. Before you have the ability to reason, your circumstances and environment that you're exposed to dictate your programming. That's your programming years. So the environment that I was born into was poverty and chaos. And that led to certain things later on in life. So mom takes me and my sister, puts us in a dump truck, takes us to the Lehigh Valley. Here she is, a little city girl, and, you know, not really knowing what to do, but work ethic has always been at the forefront of my family, right? Like we pride that, you know, at the top. And, you know, she started working. She became a massage therapist, and she saved up, I think it was like $3,184. And she bought this building. It was an old bank. So literally it had, you know, the walk-in safe, and my mom put the walls in and the electrical and the plumbing and the whole 9 yards, right?
All herself.
Huh?
All herself. She put it in?
All the stuff, her and another guy. Oh. I was 6 years old. This is 1990.
Okay. I was born.
And yeah, and she opened up her own business.
I was 9.
She opened up her own business. She set out for the American dream. She was an entrepreneur. She opened up her own massage therapy company. Thought I had a normal life. Played football, baseball, wrestling, all the materialistic things that a kid could ever have. We had a dog. We went to the Jersey Shore, Wildwood. You know, it was awesome, right? Had a bicycle. But pretty soon I realized that my family was different. And I realized that my family was different. It was February 18th, 1997. I come home from wrestling practice. Now, we lived above the business, so there's a 3-bedroom apartment. And I come home from wrestling practice, and the state police detectives had my whole house surrounded. So it looked like an episode of Cops. It was crazy, just insane, right? And I'm standing on the sidewalk. I'm scared. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. And I see my mom get carried out in handcuffs. So that's the day I found out my mom was running a prostitution enterprise out of her massage parlor.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah. And, you know, I was crushed. I was 12 years old. You know what I mean? Nobody sat me down and said, hey, Wes, this is what this means, right? See, nobody helped me process that event. I had to find out from going to school and all the kids making fun of me. You got to understand, this was a small town. You know what I mean? This wasn't like Philadelphia where you could run away from this. She was blackballed. We were the bad family. Wow. You know what I mean? It was rough. It was rough. Now look, OnlyFans makes my mom look like Mother Teresa. Okay.
Isn't that true?
But in 1997, they didn't have the internet. You know what I mean? So she got that Scarlet letter. And look, I couldn't see it then, but I can see it now. My mom was just doing the best as she knew how.
Right. Just trying to provide.
She was just doing I'm no victim. You know what I mean? She was operating at her highest level of awareness. We're all operating at our highest level of awareness in regards to our potential, and that's just where she was at. You know, so I carried that around for 20 years, and look, it gets better. I'll get to that. It's a whole comeback story.
So, what happened? How long was your mom locked up? Did you get separated from your mom? What happened?
Yep. So, turns out she had a really good lawyer on standby, and she didn't do too much time. Didn't do maybe like a week or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Great lawyer. Not good.
Yeah.
Great.
It's really like just highly frowned upon. You know what I mean? It's kind of a joke, but
I mean, sex work is legal in most of the world.
yeah,
so.
and I don't even consider it sex. It was happy endings, right? So
Oh,
yeah, right.
I wouldn't even consider that prostitution.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, here's the thing. She gets arrested for the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen anybody go through ever in a small town. I went to school. All the kids made fun of me. So I didn't understand what was going on. My wrestling coaches were making fun of me. All the kids, you know what I mean? And I turned to drugs and alcohol at an early age. By the time I was 12 years old, I was smoking and drinking, and I surrounded myself with people that I just wanted to be accepted by. So, it turned, it turned pretty ugly pretty quick, but the entrepreneurial side of me came out, very early on. As early as 6 years old, I would draw these hideous pictures. I mean, terrible crayons for Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. And I would go door to door and I would sell them to all the merchants on the main street, for like 25 cents. So I could get the penny candy. Now, I didn't realize then, but I realize now that I was selling my cute face, not my hideous artwork. Right. So when I turned to drugs and alcohol, I would save up my money and I would get somebody to buy me a pack of cigarettes. And then after school, I would sell them for 50 cents a piece. And I had a nice little racket going on there.
So what eventually happened? Your sibling too. You had a sibling, right?
Yep. I have a sibling.
What happened to your sibling? Older or younger?
Older, right?
Older. Yeah. 3 years older. Yep. My sister, you know, she turned to hard drugs at a pretty early age. By the time she was 16 years old, she was using heroin. Yeah, so that's a whole thing in itself. It's very, very painful to have someone that close to you addicted to heroin.
Yeah, my brother was addicted.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, they really take you through. Yeah, so sister, you know, is addicted, and
Still now?
no, she's clean now. Yeah, she's been clean for.
Did your mom enable her because of your mom's like habits and stuff, or no?
I mean, it definitely wasn't the best environment, and I can say that at 41 years old with a family and a house, and you know, I'm very protective over my home environment. And looking back, I'm like, yo, that was crazy. My household was wild. You know, waking up 2 a.m, my mom and stepdad in just a knockdown, drag out, screaming match, like crazy. Yeah, it was wild, dude.
So you know what's interesting is like, I never did drugs or alcohol like you, but my brother was like your sister. Mm-hmm. My dad was probably like your mom, and oftentimes we hear, especially as you know, mentors, other people, like, I grew up this way. You know, this is all I know. This is all I know. But people like you and I change.
Right.
We decide not to go down that road. We go down a different road.
Yeah.
So what made you different that you didn't take on that conditional thinking that you learned between the age of 0 and 7? I think between the age of 10 and 13 is where you really prime yourself up. Like, I think that all of the things that you really seek for out in life between that 10 and 13-year-old age is something that you search on for the rest of your life. That validation piece, whatever that is,
Yep.
you know, that pride that you just don't want to let go of. So what made you different? Why didn't you end up like everybody else?
So I did. I did end up like everybody else, but my turnaround came at 28.
Okay.
28 years old. So, you know, 10 to 13, I was 12, and this epic, my world just got rocked. You know what I mean? You know, I kind of glorified it. I glorified that, you know, look, growing up, it was Nas, it was Biggie, it was Tupac, it was 50 Cent, it was, you know, it was just all that gangster rap, right? And you know, I hung around older guys and older kids, and they had me going to Philadelphia at 15 years old in North Philadelphia, like buying drugs, and I loved it. It was exciting. It was just
Rush.
Yeah, you know, like I'm the cool kid or whatever the case may be. So by the time I was 19 years old, I had 3 DUIs and 7 underage drinking charges, but I was 19.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I lost my license at 15 years old. I didn't even have a driver's license. I stole a car. And by the time I was
You lost your license before you got a license.
That's exactly right.
That's the first time I'm hearing that. It's amazing.
Yeah. And by the
Well,
time
if you get caught driving now, anytime, if you get caught driving like without a license, you'll lose your license until you're 21 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Interesting. So by the time I was 19, I had lost my license for 22 years total.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. And here's the crazy part. Never once did I think, could it be me? It's not my fault. It's the cops' fault.
How could they catch me?
It's my mom's fault, right? So where's my dad at? You know what I mean? Couldn't be my fault. Never wanted to take a look in that accountability mirror, for sure.
We've talked about this on every podcast so far. That's true. You know, like I'm going through a season of my life right now where it's like, you know, all the things that you have, all the self-sabotaging moments you've ever had in your life.
Yep.
You know, whether it's a relationship, you can't be happy in a relationship, then you got to go on to the next one and the next one. It's not their problem. It's your problem.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's a business where you take a business to all these higher levels and you think that you're going to be happy. You're like, all right, I'm done with this business. And you dump it and you go do it with another one. Same thing happens. It's like, where's that happy medium? And most people never get to realize that they are the common denominator. You are the problem.
That's exactly right.
So 22 years without a license, bro.
Yeah,
How did you get
19
around?
years.
They didn't have Uber back then.
No, they didn't. No, no, they didn't. So at first it was, you know, it was buses and bicycles. And, you know, like I said, I am rebellious by nature, right? Just by nature. If you tell me to do something, I'm probably just out of spite. I won't do it. So I started, you know, I just drove without a license for the first 9 years. And, you know, I reached a point in my life where I was 23 at the time, dead end jobs, you know, lost my license forever. Really no direction in life. Definitely not positive. And 2008 hit. So I was in the construction trades up until then. And 2008 hit, everything just fell apart, right? So get laid off. The only place I found work in Philadelphia. So I'm like, you don't really got much going on. Might as well just go to Philadelphia and work. So here I go, fake inspection stickers, fake insurance card, driving without a license. And I moved to Philadelphia, right? And for the first couple of years, it was fun running around, doing all the things. Here I was, this small town kid moving to the city, and it was exciting. And I was an ironworker welder.
Okay.
Right. So, that's what I did, and got a piece of metal in my eye. Got prescription pain medication. Now, I told you that my work ethic is at the forefront of my values. So I can pop this pill, and next thing you know, I'm working 12-hour days, no problem, not feeling nothing. Oh, this is great.
Magic pill.
Magic pill. Next thing you know, 30 days later, I'm physically addicted. 60 days later, like, this is getting real expensive. Within 90 days, I was in Kensington, Philadelphia, copping heroin underneath the L.
Wow.
My brother was a functioning heroin addict. So he would come to work every day, frame houses, do whatever he had to do. He'd go shoot dope a couple times a day, smoke crack, come back to life, and then function all day long. You'd never know.
Those people are unbelievable.
Crazy.
They say there's lawyers out there that are functioning dope addicts. Like, they literally shoot heroin every single day, and they function at their highest levels.
Well, there was that. They did an interview with the professor who openly admitted that he does heroin on a regular basis. Every day.
Some people just work like that. So take us into this fully under the bridge.
You're fully addicted now. Now you're shooting heroin.
Yeah,
So heroin, whatever you're doing.
up until that point, my thought process was always, if I had a girlfriend and I had a vehicle and I had a job and I had a place to live, then I could justify all my bad behavior. Right? As long as everything looks good on the outside, it's okay that, we're doing this here on the weekend or whatever the case may be. And I finally reached a point where I could no longer hold on to those materialistic things. So the girl, she left. The apartment, I left. The job, I got let go of, and I was reduced to being a homeless heroin addict in North Philadelphia, selling bottles of water in the middle of the street for $1 a piece.
Shit.
Yeah. I was 50 pounds less than I am right now. I was malnourished. I was dehydrated, and I had abscesses up and down my arms. Yeah.
So what from there?
There's a place called Rock Ministry in North Philadelphia. One day I had $8, and I had a choice. I could either get the bag or I could get the sub. Now, the sub was going to keep me well and not get me high, but the bag was going to do, what I needed it to do. So I got the bag. Finally, I looked at one of the junkies on the street, and I was like, yo, I need a church. It's like, there's a church right there. And it was Rock Ministries. So I knock on the door. Guy opens up the door. I said, I need help. They take me into the back room. This guy, Buddy Osborne. Coolest dude, bro. Many, many years. He was an enforcer. Big guy.
How old are you at this time?
26 years old.
Okay.
Takes me in the back, and he just starts spraying over me. And as I'm leaning out, he's slapping me in the face.
Oh, so you took the bag.
Oh, I took the bag.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yep, took the bag. And he started praying over me. And it wasn't instantaneous, but something happened there that day. A couple weeks later, something told me to look up a meeting. Now, I'm not going to tell you which type of meeting, but it was a 12-step program. And I walked into the meeting. It was in North Philadelphia. I sat in the front row and I cried the entire time. See, look, it's one thing to have a problem. It's a whole nother other thing not to feel like you can't talk to anybody about it. And the shame and guilt that we feel as a result of what our life becomes keeps us stuck. That's why I'm very open about my entire life, because I'm not going to be held hostage by anything. You're not going to own me at all.
Yeah,
So
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I talk about whatever, whenever. And so I make my way into the meeting. I sit in the front row and I cry. And they said, "Is there anybody new here?" And I raised my hand. And it was the first time that I ever admitted what my life had become. And 30 people stood up one by one and they hugged me.
Wow.
Yeah. And I felt the unconditional love that I needed. So shortly after that, I make my way back up to the Lehigh Valley to Allentown, and I get involved in the program. And I started the process of personal development, the process of change. And, you know, look, I'll say it on camera. I'm in the personal development space. Like, that's what I do. You do that as well. I've never seen a better program than the 12 steps in my life. And all you got to do is mess your life up. So here I am. I'm in the process of change. I'm still driving without a license. And
How many times have you gotten caught driving without a license?
like 4 or 5. Yeah.
Like, how do you insure a car, register a car, a fake insurance? How do you register a car with a license plate? Just a fictitious one?
Yeah, or somebody else's name, you know, my sister's or whatever the case may be. Yeah. In Philadelphia, I got caught like 3 times. They just said, "Go." It was a joke. You know? Yeah, just get out of here. Right.
Now, when you were addicted to heroin, at the same time was your sister, or was she clean then?
Yeah, my sister struggled for like 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we both got clean together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Were you and your sister shooting together? Shooting
Never.
Together? Never?
Never, not once. For years, I held the biggest resentment on her.
Blamed her for your problem.
No, just as long as I'm not like that, I could justify this.
No, so just
Like, I hated heroin.
right,
There was no way that I was going to end up like that.
right.
None.
We all say it.
Oh, all my nevers came true. Yeah. And the
Never
hurt,
say never.
the hurt that I felt growing up with all that, you know, it was hard, bro. It was hard. Yeah.
Is your mom still alive?
Yep.
How's your mom doing now?
I'll get into that in a second. She's good. She's well. So I'm in the process of personal development, and I get a job making $80,000 a year. Last year, I'm selling bottles of water for $1 a piece. Now I'm making $80,000 a year. I got the girl, I got the job. I'm trying to win out a license, but you know, it is whatever.
Here in Lehigh Valley.
Justification
Nobody
again.
cares.
Yeah,
There's a justification.
And I got the 2-bedroom nice apartment, right? It's like I hit the lotto. This is great,
Killing it.
right? Last year I was selling bottles of water. I'm a junkie in the street. Now I got all these things, right? And I'm looking down the barrel of a 9mm, ready to kill myself. How could this be? And at 27 years old, I learned the most valuable lesson that I've ever learned. You can never fix a spiritual void with a physical thing. You can never fix a spiritual void with a physical thing. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I was trying to fill a spiritual void with a physical thing. It'll never work. I don't care how much money. I don't care how big it is. You'll never fix a spiritual void with a physical thing. So I did the craziest thing. I walked away. I told the job I got to go, told the girl she's got to go. And I sold my car after driving without a license for 9.5 years.
Really?
Yep. And I moved into a recovery house next to a 70-year-old guy named Frank who had killed 2 people. Frank was an OG gangster. He did time in Eastern State Penitentiary, and he was my roommate. Coolest dude ever.
Probably best stories ever.
You know, he did. He bit out, you know. All his stuff was like lined up, you know. Frank was OG,
Probably action
bro.
figure after his ass.
No, he was. Yeah. Frank was cool, dude. Straight murderer, though.
You never hear those
murder.
two things in the
Yeah.
same sentence.
This is where I'm at, you know. And a buddy of mine, you know, he bought me a bike for $100. And he gave me a bike. So here I am, 28, 29 years old. I'm riding a bicycle. I got a bag of clothes. I'm living in a recovery house. I got no job, no girl, no nothing, right? And this guy says, you know, when you feel like it's all falling apart, how do you know God's not bringing it all together? So here I am, and my head is telling me, bro, look at you. You're a joke. You're 28 years old. They're all laughing at you. Guys, to this day, I don't know who they are. The they is the 6 inches between my ears that keeps me from everything that I want.
Right.
So during that time, I get a message. This is when I start kind of hearing from God. And God says, go help your mom. Go help my mom. You got to understand, bro, I'm a 6 foot tall iron worker welder, farm boy. You want me to go rub dudes' backs and be a massage therapist? Yeah, go help your mom.
Oh, she got back into massage.
Let me tell you a side story about my mom. My mom gets arrested for one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen anybody go through ever in a small town. And says, I'm going to show my kids that you can fall down and you can get back up. While the whole town kicked her back in. She stayed in the same business, underneath the same name, in the same town, and never ran. Got rid of all those girls, got rid of my stepdad, and fought.
Impressive.
I would come home and she'd be on her hands and knees and she'd be wiping up the floor. And I say, hey, Ma, what's going on? And she'd look up with tears in her eyes. And she said, Wes, I'm praying. To this day, my mom gets on her hands and knees to wipe the floor. Humbled. Year 2000, I come home from high school. Ma, how was your day? Wes, I want you to meet somebody. I'm sitting at the desk. I look to my left, and there's Donovan McNabb, the head quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. My mom goes on to be the head massage therapist of the Philadelphia Eagles from 2000 to 2012.
Oh,
What if she would have ran?
Very interesting.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that is
What if she would have quit? So 20 years later, when I get the message, it says, go help your mom. She had did incredible things, but she never changed the name. She was still a Google search away from finding out what happened 25 years ago. It takes 20 years to build a good reputation. It takes 5 seconds to lose it. And once you lose it, you may never get it back again. People will always remember you for the dark things that you did.
Always.
So on a bicycle, I rode 8.5 miles every single day to go build my family business. Why? Because God told me to. Not so I could see numbers on a screen. I want to make sure nobody will call my mom a whore ever again. When you find a why that's so strong, you'll go to the ends of the earth to do whatever it takes. No business experience whatsoever. I could barely read. I didn't know what a fiscal year was. I didn't know what books were. Nothing. Zero. And one of the first days, my mom says, Wes, all you got to do is show up. I realized that 50% of all success is just showing up on a consistent basis.
More than
You could bet 50%. 40% is having a good attitude. You show up every day, you have a good attitude, you could beat 90% of all people, man. That last 10% is a straight dog fight. It's a straight dog fight.
Dog versus dog, yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. I showed up every day and I grinded and I rode my bicycle and I woke up early and I started watching YouTube motivational video and I started the reprogramming process. See, the results in our life are a direct reflection of the beliefs that we hold about ourselves and our potential. They were developed between 0 and 7 years old. I was a bedwetter. So I developed this low self-esteem as a result of the situations that happened in the outside world, which then dictated the way that I felt about myself. And I had to rewrite that entire program for success so that I could grow this business. And it was hard. I love that you guys, talk about entrepreneurship. I was telling my niece the other day, Naya, it is hard. Entrepreneurship, in the beginning, in the early days, it's about who can get punched in the face and keep moving forward.
We were just talking about that before we let you in with the last guy. Like no matter how high you go, bro, you get dropped. Like I get my balls kicked in every single week, and no matter where I go, people are always going to talk shit. Things are always going to happen. But how are you fighting through it? You know what I mean? Like I always look back, like I love Trump. You know why I love Trump? because he gets kicked in the balls more than anybody else in this world.
Brutal.
And someone actually was like, "Oh, this guy sounds like our president." You know, when they talked about me. Well, I would love to be like that because you know what? Even though he's got millions of haters, he's got hundreds of people he's impacting.
Yeah.
And that's the only ones that matter. You know, so no matter what you do in life, bro, it's never going to be good enough for anybody else. And the way that we get better is by improvement. You know, becoming a better version of ourselves. You know, and not living in that shame place and not living in that place of, you know, us trying to feel bad for ourselves anymore and blame everybody else.
Yep.
You know, this is, unfortunately, we're brought into this world by people who drop us in this world and only teach us what they know. Right. So those limitations and those limiting beliefs are what we carry. So it's up to us to recondition and up to change, but we got to go through some painful shit to change and especially become the best version of ourselves. They say, like, by the time you hit 50, if you haven't been through more pain in 50 years of your life, you're probably never even going to experience life. They said more than 50% of your life should be pain by the time you hit 50, then growth. But the growth from the pain is going to excel you way further than anybody else who wasn't willing to go through that pain.
Hey friends, Joe Butler here with Ability Tree. Ability Tree comes alongside families impacted by disability by providing rest, recreation, education, support, and training. We're so proud to be the charity of choice for Intrepidus. And when you partner with us, you help us to come alongside families to make community possible and Jesus accessible to them. Thank you so much.
That's good.
I guess I gotta get some pain, huh?
You've been through it, bro.
Yeah, I have. Not enough for 50 years, that's for sure.
So here
So
I
what
am.
happens next?
So I'm growing the business, and you know, I realize that the success of the organization is going to be directly predicated on the psychology of the leader. Everything rises and falls on leadership in business, right?
John Maxwell.
It's yep, that's exactly right. So I jump into the John Maxwell team, and I start that programming process. And the funny thing happened. We grew 1,000% in 5.5 years. Next thing you know, people are calling me boss. I got a team. People are looking up to me. You know what I mean? I'm taking Ubers every day.
Doing what exactly?
Massage.
Oh, the massage. So
Yeah.
the family business.
Family business. Yep. Here's the thing. If I'm going to ride a bike, I'm going to look like I have to be there. So I got the spandex the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to look like I'm supposed to be here, right? And I was like, if I'm going to rub dudes' backs, I'm going to be one of the best in the world, bro. And I was really, really good at what I did. Part of it is natural gift. My mom is hands down the best massage therapist I've ever seen. She found cancer in 3 people.
Wow.
In her 30-year career, based on the vibrational frequency that they were giving off. We all have a vibrational frequency about us. And she found cancer in 3 different people, saved their life. Wow. They caught it early stage. So it's a God-given gift, but also I was dedicated. So yeah, I'm growing the business, and one night, me and my mom, we're power struggling, right? Because I want to go here. She wants to hold on to back here. You know, when I got there, it was 2016. She still had a paper appointment book. You know what I mean? Like, I really brought in technology. I upgraded everything, and we grew. You okay? Okay. Yeah, so I brought in technology, and we grew. And one night, we're power struggling. It's 9 o'clock at night. She's locking up the door. We can't stand each other right now.
You and your mom?
Yeah. Family businesses are tough. I'm sure that you probably know that. And I'm getting into my Uber, and I look up at the building, and it's new facade, new paint, new signage, the whole 9 yards. And I said, "Hey, lady, nice freaking building." You know, but I said that. She stops. She looks up at the building. She looks back at me. And she said, "My son did that. My son did that." And I realized that God wasn't taking me out of the gutter for me. It was always to reach back and help somebody else. So I believe in being of service to our community. I believe of giving back. If you you know, if you have big aspirations, you have to be able to give. I believe in tithing. So I'm out in the community and I'm doing a promotional event where I donate all the proceeds to the local track and field team. And this woman comes into my tent and I put my hands on her, and I put my hands on thousands of people. I can read people. There was something different about her. So I do a little Google search, find out her name's Joetta Clark. She's a 4-time Olympic athlete. You ever seen the movie Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman back in the 80s? There was a movie, there was a principal in New Jersey, North New Jersey, and his name was Joe Clark. That's her real dad. She has a daughter named Talitha, who's a world champion in the 400 meter at University of Florida, and I'm on the Olympic class team. I work with the PGA, I work with NFL, I work with Division I wrestlers, Division I athletes, and Olympic class athletes. So I literally went from selling bottles of water in the middle of the street to growing a business 1,000% while riding a bicycle and working with the best in the world. And that all happened in like an 8-year time frame.
What's next?
Still ride that bicycle?
Yeah. So
You have a license or no?
yeah, I just got it back. 39 years old, I got it back. Yeah.
A couple of years ago. So.
Everybody asks me like, what is it like now? I'm like, it's boring. This sucks. I'm just like everybody else now.
So
crazy.
you have a wife and kids?
Yeah.
So let's talk. How did that whole world start with you on a bicycle and still being able to provide and all that?
Yeah, man. My wife is the best, bro. I love my wife more and more every day. I just wrote in her Mother's Day card that, you know, when I was getting ready to get married, I was afraid. I was afraid that I was going to mess it up. But as life has gone on and we've evolved together, I love my wife, bro. I know exactly. She's super easy. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to New York. I'm doing another podcast in Manhattan on Friday, and we're going to make a weekend out of it, right? So all I got to do is take her to a restaurant. This guy, Louis Ruggiero.
Don't know that.
He's a gambling addict. It's called Against All Odds or Everything on the Table or something like that. But yeah. So, you know, she's super easy. Just take her to a nice restaurant and, you know, super easy. But I met her when I was first getting clean. Right about the time I was living with Frank, the killer. So I had nothing to offer. You know what I mean? And I had to tell her, like, look, I won't have my license for another 8 years. Are you okay with that? She didn't care about what I had. She cared about how I treated her. My perception was all wrong. I thought I had to offer you materialistic things. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't the case. And at the time, my stepdaughter, Adriana, was 4 years old when I first met my wife. And
Your wife older than you or younger?
was that?
Your wife older or younger?
My wife's 9 years older.
Okay.
So she's about to be 50. Yeah.
The laugh, diabolical laugh gets me. Oh, shit's funny.
It's like he's one of those fake dolls.
Yeah. You pull the string.
No, the ones that like the puppets that people put behind. What are they called? Like you know, like the
Ventriloquist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he's got someone behind him just making him do it.
Oh, fuck. Fantastic.
So at 4 years old, when I met my wife's daughter, we sat at a outside movie, and she put her head like right here in my chest, and I felt the unconditional love of a child. Best feeling ever, bro. And I fell in love with both her and Adriana. And here's the coolest thing: when I was riding a bicycle to work, Adriana, you know, she's 4, 5, 6 years old. And she would go out on the front porch right as I would leave. And I would look back a block later, and she'd just be waving, "Hi, Wessie." So then she goes on a field trip, right? And her mom's on the bus. They're going to some farm on a field trip. And she goes, "Yeah." She's telling her little girlfriend, "You see those mountains over there? My mom's boyfriend, Wessie, he He can climb right over those. Yep. He could do it. He rides a bicycle.
He rides a bicycle.
And I realized that, you know, we are our kids' heroes.
Mm-hmm.
You have any kids of your own with her?
No.
So how old is she now?
She's 14.
14.
Yeah, 14.
Lots changed for you in 10 years.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
So what got you into where you are now?
So I'm a professional speaker, right?
What
And
considers you a professional speaker?
people write checks.
So I'm a professional
That's
speaker
a good
too.
answer.
I know you are. Absolutely.
That's a good answer. Someone writes a check.
But that's exactly right.
You know what I love? Like when you go somewhere, people go, I'm a certified speaker. I go, I'm certified by experience.
Pretty much.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you have great experience. I have great experience. You know,
Yep.
like some people that go through the John Maxwell program, or some people who go, you know, wherever they become a certified coach.
Yep.
I'm like, yo, that's like a college professor. You can't profess something if you ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? Textbook doesn't mean shit. That's like back to when we started this before. We were talking about religion, talking about the Catholic Church. Sorry to touch
No, you're good. Unrelated.
Did I wrinkle your pants?
Unrelated.
Talking about the Catholic Church, like
Get the Christian off me.
the priest is reading a Bible because he went to Bible school, but he's not relating the Bible. You know, so like the same thing, like you're a professional in your space. I'm a professional in my space because we have the receipts. A pastor has the receipts. He's got the life. He takes the life and puts it with the word, right? So that's the difference between somebody who practices and someone who preaches.
Correct.
So go ahead. You're now a professional speaker.
Yeah, I'm a professional speaker. And how that came about is during the early years of recovery, part of my recovery was I would go into prisons and rehabs and I would go speak and tell my story. Well, after, 5,000 times of doing that, I got pretty good because I just did it over and over. I didn't even know you could get paid as a speaker. Like, honestly, I
I feel like if I went into a prison and spoke, they'd keep me there.
According to Lakewood.
We've been waiting for you for a long time.
Hey, Dad, come on.
We've got your bunk made.
Sell
Hire
one
you for
A.
event just to get in there.
Right.
Like that was easy.
You look like you would know 90% of the people in there. Big Dan's like, yard out. Just starts doing push-ups. Oh, man. So I got really good at it. And somebody's like, would you come in and speak for us, right? The light bulb kind of went off where I realized that I could earn an income from professional speaking. And, I was like, okay. Then this guy made like he's like, you got a credible story. I'm going to make a motivational video out of you. And he did. And it just kind of naturally progressed. Now, I come from the farming community, and the number one form of entertainment of farmers is what? Storytelling. So I've sat around for years just listening to stories, and somewhere I must have picked up the ability to tell a good story. And there's techniques to speaking, right? There's anything from a pregnant pause, which is where you pause before you're about to say something. So I developed the skills and the techniques, and I got really good. And one night, the business had grown, the massage business had grown to 1,000%. I couldn't expand any larger. 13 team members, working with the best in the world. And I heard the voice of God. It was the same voice that said, go help your mom. And he said, well done, good and faithful servant. You did what I told you to do. Now I want you to let it all go. What? Let it all go?
Was your mom still working there at this point?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She still have it today?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I walked away from business was probably doing about $40,000 a month, and walked away like that. Here you go, Mom. Here's the keys. 3 months after I did that, I meditate every morning. I will not talk to you unless I meditate. It's non-negotiable. I'm meditating 3 months after that, and I get a message, and it says, "Oh, you want to be You want to be one of the best speakers in the world, huh? All right. This is what I want you to do. There's a nonprofit in South Carolina called Fire Pit Ranch. The mission of the nonprofit is they mentor young boys that grow up without dads. You want to be one of the best speakers in the world? I want you to go down there. I want you to go speak to 200 kids that don't have dads, but I don't want you to take a plane. I want you to ride your bike. So October 1st, 2023, I left, and I rode 479 miles on the Blue Ridge Parkway to South Carolina to go speak to 200 kids that don't have dads.
How many flat tires you got?
0.
Now, did you know you were speaking there, or you went there without even knowing you were speaking, and then
No, I knew
spoke about when he got there?
I knew the guy that.
You knew beforehand.
Yeah, I knew the
And
guy.
he said, "I'm going to ride my bike there," and he said, "You're crazy." I said,
That's
yeah,
exactly
a little
right.
bit.
Yep.
Got it.
And raised $7,800, I think, for that organization just on Facebook posts alone.
Oh, because you were riding there.
Yeah.
People raise money. Nice.
You were posting as you were riding?
Yep.
Mile 100.
How did you like stay hydrated, stay food? Like, how was your discipline for all that? Like, was there a routine for that?
Yeah, so I had a support vehicle. I would go
Oh,
60
yeah.
miles. He would pick me up at mile 60. He would take me to the hotel, drop me off in the morning. He would meet me halfway at mile 30 for lunch, and he just kind of supported me. It was me and another dude. That,
2 guys rode.
yeah, 2 guys rode.
Now, here's the real question.
Yeah.
What kind of bike?
It was a Trek, actually.
Track? I have a
Like
track.
a
Road bike.
Road bike.
Yeah, road
Yeah,
bike. I have a
Trek
road
road
bike.
bike.
Track
How'd
at
your
home.
ass feel, bro?
Oh, it hurts.
Oh, it was terrible.
That padding on those spandex don't help at all.
Everybody think like that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Is
your ass
I
uh,
ride a spin bike here. My balls are numb after like 2 minutes.
yeah, bro, your tank is terrible.
It is bad. You're like, is this normal? What's going on here?
That's exactly
very
right.
uncomfortable.
Here,
You would think after all this time they make them a little more comfortable. I think they're uncomfortable. on
No,
purpose.
it's just the way that it pinches, I think. Got the fresh Oakleys, baby.
Oh, the hill climb. It's always the roughest.
oh, 52,000 in elevation change. I left with calves. I came back with full-grown cows. Bro, my legs were pumped.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not easy.
Love that.
Yeah,
You should send us that, and we'll have our editor put that in the clip,
epic.
like a piece of it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Good
for
idea.
sure.
And we'll drop the link for that in the caption.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're a professional speaker. You drive there. You do this whole thing.
Rides there.
I just don't want. Yeah, I don't want to spend like too much more time to run out of time.
Yeah.
So take us currently into your status today, of you're speaking, what you're doing. You have a movement right now with Ed Rush. Like, let's talk about all this. You created a book from what you're doing. So bring us into today right now.
Yeah. So I come back from the ride. I get a divine download from God. I get woken up 3 o'clock in the morning.
Second time we heard download today, Ken.
Yeah. And I get a divine download 3 o'clock in the morning. I wake up. And he says, now I'm going to give you your gift. See, the bicycle that I rode is a metaphor for a successful, meaningful, and purposeful life. Watch this. First thing you have is the handlebars. Those are our decisions. Our decisions create our destination in life. 1 degree to the left or to the right of my handlebars, I'm ending up in a completely different destination. So you got to make good decisions. Next is the frame of the bicycle. That's my mental and physical health, my mental and physical well-being. 1 crack in my bike frame, I'm on the side of the road watching everybody else go through life. So you got to take good care of your mental and physical health. Next is the pedals. Those are my dreams, my desires, my visions. The bigger the dream, the bigger the vision, the more power you're going to put to the pedals and the further you're going to go in life. So you got to think big. Next is the chain. Those are our daily actions. They have to be in alignment with our dreams. It's like me saying I want to be somewhere, or you saying you want to have a podcast, but your daily actions aren't in alignment. You're never going to get there. Not only that, but everybody knows that your chain is only as strong as your weakest link. So it's actually our weakest habits that keep us from our dreams, not our strongest ones. Next is the gears. Those are our systems and processes. Your systems and processes are going to define how much effort it takes to get to the top of the hill. You can get there in the wrong gear, but boy, you're going to be dead when you get there. So you got to make sure you're in the right systems and processes to get to the top of the hill.
I like that one the most so far.
Next is the wheel. That's my support system. That's my team. At any given time, all my weight was on one spoke. And as the wheel of life turns, you're going to have to rely on a handful of people. So make sure you got a good, strong support system around you. Next is the tires. Front one's filled with inspiration, back one's filled with motivation. Now, on that ride, I had to check and fill my tires daily. Because if you ever try to ride a bike on flat tires, boy, it makes it real hard to do. Sure does. And if you ever try to go through life uninspired and unmotivated, boy, it makes it real hard to do. So you got to find something that inspires and motivates you on a daily basis. Next is a seat. You're going to have to support yourself. Nobody's going to believe in your dreams like you believe in your dreams. You're going to have to support. What's the neuro-linguistic programming? What's the internal dialogue that you have about yourself and your potential? 500 bottles, you better bring some water bottles with you, Wes. What's in your water bottles? Is it filled with anger, resentment, distrust of others? Or is it filled with love, hope, optimism, and joy? Now, the funny thing about the bike is when you try to backpedal, it just free spins. The bike only goes forward. Same as life. It only goes forward. We try to backpedal into our past and use that as a benchmark for what's possible for us. The bike only goes forward. Lastly, and my favorite, you got the brakes. Everything in the universe is subject to the law of rhythm. Sun goes up, sun comes down. Tide goes out, tide comes in. It's been winter, spring, summer, fall for the last 6,000 years that we've been recording history. Sometimes you're grinding uphill just trying to make things happen. Sometimes you got momentum and you're coasting down. On those downhills, don't forget to use your brakes. Slow down. Take in the views and enjoy the ride. We seem to get so fixated on getting to the destination that we completely miss the entire journey, bro. And life is so beautiful at 8 miles an hour. So keep pedaling. So I wrote the book. It's a whole thing. It's a whole, online course, the whole 9 yards, where I break down how to go through and define each one of those. I'm speaking in Midland, Texas, right? My mentor is Paul Martinelli. My direct mentor. He's been my mentor for the last 5 years. He took me from a guy that could kind of speak to being a world-class professional speaker. He did that. He is the business mind behind the John Maxwell program. You don't have the John Maxwell certification program without Paul Martinelli. So he sells that in 2020 for tens of millions of dollars, and he becomes my mentor. Now, I know you're a big fan of coaching and mentorship, and so am I, because you can hire someone to compress the amount of time that it's going to take. To get there. That's exactly what he did. Because potential is one of those things where you can't see it in yourself.
Nope.
But you can get someone that's already done it, that has the blueprint, and can get you there quicker, faster, and more efficiently.
All I say is when you have a coach, you're just upgrading your GPS. It's going to tell you how to get there quicker, how to avoid all unforeseen destinations, and how to always get rerouted, right?
Yep.
So that's what a business coach does. It's just like your GPS. When you get off track, it tries to bring you back. It tries to bring you back. But the problem is how many times have you not listened to that GPS? You're like, the next one, and now all of a sudden you're way out of way.
Yep.
You're going to run out of gas. You're going to do all that. It keeps trying to guide us, and that's what coaching does. That's what leadership does for someone who's trying to do something.
Good coaching.
Exactly. Yep. But you have to be coachable.
Yeah, of course.
Sure. And that's the thing that some people. So anyway, I get with Paul. I start working with him directly, and we're in Midland, Texas, at my boy AO Leadership, Dan Nicholas, and we're at an event. Les Brown's there, Ed Milet's there, Ed Rush is there, and we're all speaking at this event. And Ed Rush wrote this book, God Talks, on how to have a conversation with God, and God gave him a vision and said, "I want people in business and government and schools and the church all having a conversation with me. I want millions of people having a conversation with me." And Ed's like, "God, I'm only one person." And God's like, "Train them." Okay. 9 months later, we're at this event, and he runs into Paul Martinelli. Paul Martinelli has certified and coached more people than anybody else on the planet. And he runs into Ed. They developed the God Talk certification program. Paul brings me in as the lead speaking faculty member. So I teach people the techniques and strategies to speak from stage. And that's where we're at now.
Love it.
Very cool.
Powerful.
Yep. Very cool.
Where do you have your events at? Everywhere?
West Palm, Florida is the next one in September. Yeah.
They're gonna say June. 'Cause I'm going back down there in June.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that would have been a sign.
September what, you know?
Was that
September what?
26?
Okay.
Yep.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
I have an event I have to speak at September 11th, but I can come on 26th.
Yeah, I see you grinding, bro. I'm proud of you.
It's a lot. Dude.
And I mean that sincerely. Like,
Appreciate you.
I know what type of work you put in, bro. And
I just hit the brakes though.
good.
For the last 2 weeks, I hit the brakes. I got 2 events I got to speak at this month, and I'm taking the next 4 months off.
Good.
You know, I'm just gonna coach, do what I got to do. I'm not, no more speaking, no more everything until September.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna enjoy my kids, enjoy the summer.
Good.
You know, I told myself I was gonna put my head down. That's what I always do. I put my head down.
Yep.
I go. So an airplane uses 80% of its fuel to take off. So I knew come January 1, I had to use 80% of my fuel because I had to take off. That's all right. Don't worry about that. I had to take off and get myself in a position where I was coasting through the clouds. So right now I'm just coasting. You know, I'm going to hit some turbulence. I'm hitting some turbulence right now. But at the end of the day, the whole job is just buckle your seatbelt and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just letting God's my pilot. You know what I mean? I'm the co-pilot.
That's great.
So I just literally, I've never worked or traveled so much that I did in the last 4 months, but I knew it was all for what I was building up here today.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you. Yeah. Podcast after plane after just East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. I was like, wow.
$27,000 in plane tickets
Wow.
in 4 months.
Nice. That's good.
It's a lot. We went back and it was like, oh, okay, let's see how much it's cost.
No, I just saw it like on my JetBlue card.
Oh, yeah.
When I pull in points there, I just saw how
You
much I
choose the
spent
same
this
airline?
year. Yeah, because I usually use JetBlue or Delta, so I just put the two of them together and it tells you how much you spent.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck.
In 4 months.
4 months since January.
Hopefully you got some
You
status.
fly first
from it.
class?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
Well, I got status too, and I get like, you know, whatever, like free this, free that, you know, free flights, all this shit. Like,
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Delta Lounge, all that bullshit.
Very
But
cool.
it wasn't about that, you know, like, and I think when people fly first class, they don't understand, like, yeah, you can fly coach, but you're going to pay for your extra bag.
Yep.
You're going to sit all the way in the back. A lot of times you're going to be struggling to find some space for your overhead. You're sitting next to someone that you don't want to be sitting next to.
Yep.
You know, so you pay a little bit more money. Here's what people do. They go to coach ticket. Oh, upgrade to first class is this much. If you go to first class first hit, don't even look at coach. The ticket's really not that much more. And you get 2 bags of way over 70. So when you're traveling for a week or 2 weeks and hopping all over the place, bro, it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, I literally just.
People never put these things into perspective. You know what I mean? Like I'm flying to next week. I'm taking Delta first class. I'm actually taking Alaskan Airlines because I couldn't get a Delta. Alaskan's pretty dope. First time I flew it, nice seats. It was very comfortable. But I got first class, Cali and back. It was like $900. What's $900? You know what I mean? San Diego. I'm going to San Diego. Lay down seats, JetBlue. I think it was like $1,800. Right, $1,800 to sleep because I'd take the red eyes.
Yeah.
To sleep, like, dude, you get your full food,
Oh, yeah.
you get 2 bags,
Yeah.
you get everything. You're taken care of like a king.
I won't go to Europe without first class, bro.
It's hard to go back once you go first class. It's very difficult.
Lay down. You know what I mean? Oh, it's beautiful.
Like if I'm flying to Florida, dude, I'll fly business class because it's a couple hours.
Yeah.
Or flying Florida to Jersey or, you know, somewhere small. But anything that's longer than 3 hours, dude, like 2 hours, I need.
Yeah, you need the
comfortable.
space.
Because on a 2-hour trip anyway, to Florida, most of the times you're not even getting food because it ain't even that far.
Yeah.
You know, so it has to be 3 hours or more. So you can fly business class. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but people just don't understand. Like, oh, it must be nice. But if you really do the math, it's no different. You know, same thing like renting a car and people Uber everywhere. You're Ubering everywhere. You're paying $40, $50 to Uber everywhere. I'll rent a BMW X5 for $40 a day. What's the difference? They don't put their heads together. Oh yeah, you can go to Enterprise. Enterprise should charge you $34 for an F-150. For an extra $6, you go to Sixt Rent a Car. You go to Avis Luxury Cars. And you get a BMW for $40. But again, people don't look.
After spending time with Paul and Robert Cialdini and some of the best thinkers in the world and studying Bob Proctor for so long, I realized that the biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is the way that they think.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
That's it.
100%. I can't. I try. I won't. I wish.
Must be
some
nice.
days. Someday. One day. None of these words even exist. Some days not a day of the week. One day's not a day of the week. Today is the day of the week. can't isn't in a dictionary. If you try something, you'll never do it. Right? You try. Who do you know that's ever tried to lose weight and ever lost weight? No, because they all say, I tried.
Sure.
Well, how about the ones that said, I lost weight? I did. There's a big difference. So like you said, like whatever, the way you think, your thought process takes you as far as you want to go.
Yep. And we'll never outperform our self-image.
No.
There was a book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz.
I heard of that book. I didn't read it, but I heard it.
It's almost like you have an internal thermostat. And once your life starts to say, let's say you're a 70-degree guy, right? Sales, whatever, right? As soon as your life begins to creep up to 71, 72, you have an automatic sabotager. Yep. And I say, whoa, we're a 70-degree guy. We're a coach guy. We don't belong up here. And it'll automatically regulate.
I was saying it on the last show, like what's crazy is as we elevate and as we evolve, our belief just changes so much. So like my CMO tells me just a couple days ago, he's like, this is going to be an $8 million year for you. I see you going to $8 million. No problem. Like we could do it. He was telling his partner that's in Canada, he goes, I could take Dan to $8 million, no problem. You told me that like 10 years ago, even though my companies were doing hundreds of millions, I wasn't making 8 million. I would have been like, yeah, I could make $1 million. I could make a couple million because of that limiting belief of like, and where I was and what I was doing.
Yeah.
He was like 8 million. I was like, yeah, let's go, bro. All in. You know what I mean? I didn't question it. I would have questioned that 5 years ago. I can make 8 million. Me? Really? I know I can make 20 million.
Yeah.
You know, like I just got to figure out how to do it.
Yep.
You know?
Make the numbers small, man. That's good.
So
That's good.
Love it.
it's just the way you think, bro. You know what I mean? And it's all about how you transition your mind to whatever's being spoken to you, you know, is how everything relates in your life, you know? So most people stay stuck because of that childhood conditioning and because of where they are. And you're told you can, you can't, you know, like you went out and listen, you were hustling, even though you were an addict, you were hustling, you were doing your thing.
Yeah.
But you know, there came a point where like, all right, so your sister, she may be clean now, but is your sister hustling or is she just living an everyday life?
No, she's still grinding. She's still making things happen. Yeah.
So there's something, right? Look at your mom, look at you, look at your sister.
Oh yeah.
Every single one of you had the cards like, dealt against you,
Yeah, definitely.
stacked against you. You were going to lose.
Yeah.
And all of you came through.
Yeah.
Well, like you said it before, his work ethic is something that they pride themselves on. You can't teach work ethic.
Yeah.
I think you have to be born with it.
And I think what
At
your-
least that next level hustle, right?
Yeah.
I think what your grandpa told you when you were 6 years old was super valuable.
Yeah.
And you trusted other people, but not until you were about 28. Me listening to you, because I listened to that the whole time, was until you really trusted yourself.
For sure. Like it's one thing for someone to say, "Hey Wes, I'm proud of you," or "Hey Dan, I'm proud of you," or "Hey Anthony, I'm proud." It's another thing to look in the mirror and say, "Bro, I'm proud of you." Like it's a whole nother level. Dude.
Yeah, agreed.
It's incredible, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm excited. You know, because once you become aware of what's possible, take the training wheels off, baby. Let's go.
100%.
Let's go.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, the first time in 10, 11 years, I was in my kitchen. I didn't even tell you this. I was in my kitchen, and for the first time ever, I said, I don't give myself enough credit. First time ever. Everyone around me gives me the credit, and I just like, you know, you don't believe you've done enough. It's like, holy shit, I don't give myself enough credit. And then I almost cried. I didn't get to. I tried. It didn't work. But we got to wrap up. We could probably do this for another few hours, right? But at the end of the day, we like to ask one question to everyone that sits in that seat there, and that's, you know, when we go to sleep, or when we try to sleep, put our head down on the pillow, thoughts come to mind, sometimes keeping us up at night. Does anything keep you up at night?
You know, it used to. It used to. I do this thing where anything that's in my conscious mind, write it down on a piece of paper. I got Post-it notes. You can ask my niece. I got Post-it notes all over my office, you know? And here's the deal. It's like when those thoughts would try to keep me up, that's my conscious mind trying to remind me of something. Like, don't forget this, you know? But once I put it on paper, then the conscious mind knows, okay, He
Did
doesn't.
we just talk about this?
Yeah. I don't have to continually to worry him. It's down on paper. It's in physical form, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my trick. But I lost years of sleep worrying about stupid stuff.
That you can't fix in that moment.
No.
Yep.
No. And what I do right before I go to sleep is I bring forward my goals, my visions, my dreams, and then I marinate on that. I'm so grateful now that I have hundreds of millions of dollars and travel all over the country and speak and impact people and help people and, you know, all the things.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
So do us a favor. Just tell the audience where they can find you, where they can connect with you.
Absolutely. Westley Morris, westleymorris.com. That's WESTLEYMORRIS.com. And, or look, just text me. I'm real easy to get a hold of, 610-554-5533.
I promise you, after you text me, you get a happy ending.
And it's going to be expensive.
Love it.
Great episode. Thanks, brother.
Absolutely.
coming on.
Yeah,
Awesome.
appreciate you guys.
All right, that wraps up today's episode. If this conversation brought you value, take a second and help us spread the message.
Over 70% of people watching this show right now aren't following us just yet. If you're getting something from these episodes, hit subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Liking, subscribing, and sharing isn't just support for us. It's how the message reaches more business owners, leaders, and people who need to hear it.
Every share helps, every comment helps, and every subscription keeps this show growing.
We appreciate you being here and investing your time with us. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep building.